Are you considering taking LSD for the first time? In this video, I'm going to be providing 5 essential tips to know before tripping. We're going to cover everything from setting intentions to having a safe environment, and this will ensure that you have a positive and transformative experience. So stay tuned to make sure that you have a smooth introduction into the world of LSD. Welcome everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. I want to share something about LSD in this video because, quite frankly, there's a new time coming right now and people are beginning to open up to psychedelics, just like I have over the past 5 years or so. And when I first began, I wish I knew these 5 things. And I think it can go a lot more smoother and be a lot more enjoyable when we consider these responsible ways of engaging with these powerful healing tools. And so I want to jump right in. First, number 1, there is the preparation phase. And this is what I did 5 years ago. I was slowly starting to open myself up to these tools, and first it was LSD, and I began researching online. I was reading on Reddit trip reports. I went on psychonautwiki.org and read all the properties of this substance, what to expect, what the dosages were, what is a high dose, a medium dose, a micro dose, and a low-level dose, and what we can expect, possible complications, and just research what are substances that don't go well with that. Maybe you have medications and all these things, which is extremely important, especially the dosages. And secondly, towards this point of preparation, is that you want to just in general be ready to let go of old ideas of how reality and the universe work, who you are, what your limitations are, what your potential in life is, because these substances, they elevate our consciousness and make us able to see life and ourselves from a much more truthful standpoint. And if we come in there just thinking like, okay, it's gonna be just an enjoyable, fun thing, you're gonna be in for a rude awakening. It can be that, but these are truthful yet compassionate tools, and you want to be ready to let go of all ideas of how you think the world works, because they're definitely going to question that, and that will ensure a much more enjoyable and smooth experience. Next is to prepare yourself. You want to already be into meditation or some form of spirituality or consciousness work. Maybe it's breath work, whatever it is, so that you have some experience with how your mind works, what it is like to surrender to reality, to accept the present moment as it is, and so that you have some insight into the mechanics of how we produce our own suffering with our mind by resisting the present moment, by believing our thoughts that say that reality should be some other way than it is. And meditation basically ensures that you already have that backlog of experience of observing how we are responsible for our own suffering. So if you have a daily meditation habit in place, that would be ideal. And just next for preparation, don't plan on mixing substances. I've never done this, and I've had like, I don't know, I've stopped counting, over 30 LSD experiences from medium, low to high doses, and I've never had the urge to mix substances. I know people do it and it might have some potential benefits, could be interesting, but especially as a beginner, I wouldn't recommend substance mixing. And yes, in general, you want to start with super low doses. Don't be a macho and, maybe if you've had other experiences with other substances, now think that new substances, you can also handle high doses. Start low. It'll be fine. It's not about getting to high doses. It's about just like responsible, consistent experience and medium dose tripping, and just, respecting the substance and not being overly macho. Now to the second thing. The second thing after preparing is setting. Set is on the onset how you feel that day, your mindset, and setting is the environment that you're going to be tripping in. This is extremely important um, because, yeah, you just want to make sure that you have a safe setting. You, as a beginner, want to probably trip at home. You want to have a clean environment where you know where everything is, and not downtown or in a busy environment at a party where everything is hectic and loud. You just want to take the whole day off, clean your room, go buy some healthy food, have some fruits around, have your fridge stocked so that you're not worried that you have, prepare something healthy in the morning. It's maybe a fruit salad or something. And yeah, just have a safe setting. Maybe, and this helped me first. At first, I was very fearful and resistant to trying this, but then a friend of mine who already had experience was a trip sitter for me, and we had our first experience, and it was very, very heart opening and amazing. But he was able to coach me through it when I was having fearful thoughts. So it helps having someone who already has experience with you. It's also a very, very good point to keep in mind. And you just want to also meditate before you go into the experience. I personally don't eat before LSD. I have some healthy stuff. I make sure that I have some stuff prepared, that I have something at home. But I just do it on an empty stomach. You could eat a little bit of fruit or whatever, but I just prepare it, and then later, when on the calm down phase, I'll just eat something light while taking a walk outside or whatever. And you just want to meditate before, because meditation calms you down. It already slows your thoughts down. It gives you that mindfulness that allows you to surrender to the present moment and accept it exactly as it is. So just like 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever feels right, of just settling already into the present moment. And this ensures that you're using it for serious intentions, for personal development, for developing yourself, not just as a party drug, not just to distract yourself. So yeah, make sure you do that, and they'll definitely ensure you have a positive, smooth experience if you already settle down by meditating 20 minutes beforehand. And now to the third point to ensure you have a smooth experience is to set an intention. Now, sometimes you don't need to set an intention. Usually your consciousness gets elevated so much that you already will be taught what you need to know. But sometimes it's very helpful to just set an intention about what you want to learn. Maybe you want to gain some insight into relationship problems. I know it has helped me with finding my passion, what I should do next with my life purpose. Can be very inspiring. You can get new creative ideas for what to do next. You can ask about your insecurities, wounds, and traumas, and feel those deeply and give yourself a huge hug, gain insights into them, heal those wounds by filling yourself up with love and forgiveness and unconditional acceptance. And yeah, basically setting a strong intention. What do you want to learn? And I mean, the most powerful intentions are existential intentions, existential questions. You're going to be existentially investigating what reality is by asking, what is consciousness? Who am I? What is reality? Is there God? Is there spirit? Is this true? These substances like LSD and stuff, they are very powerful tools to do some existential contemplation. And they'll bring all that stuff from theory to direct experience, which is, they can really, really kickstart the spiritual path for us by giving us some glimpses and direct experience of all the things that are mentioned in scriptures and spiritual teachings. And so this leads us to the trip. There's not much. You just take the substance. I personally spit it out after some time, after I noticed the first effects are coming on. And during the trip, you want to remember to surrender. This is the next point. Number 4 is learn that and remember that your mind affects your body and your body affects your mind. They're interconnected. And so sometimes when you have negative feelings or you're feeling anxious, it might just be that your posture is tensed up. You're crossing your arms, your legs, you're in an uncomfortable posture, and you just want to open up, uncross your arms, uncross your legs, just so surrender to consciousness, let go, and let the flow take you. Surrender to the flow. And also with your mind, if you have some physical symptoms, it could also just that you're thinking anxious thoughts, and you can learn to observe them, to calm yourself down. That if you do all these things in this list, you can basically calm yourself down, reassure yourself that this is going to pass. You're not going to have a bad experience because you're taking it seriously and doing it responsibly. And so just remember that. Do all these things and you'll have a smooth, enjoyable, transformative experience for sure. So yeah, remember to open up, to not tense up. Maybe sometimes you can just change the room, the setting, the lighting, whatever it is. You can change the music that you're listening to or whatever it is. Sometimes just a change in environment, in your posture, can bring everything positive back. That relaxed state, to have everything go smoothly and to exit fearful states. So yeah, this brings us to the last point, post-trip. Make sure you write down some lessons, but also expect ego backlash the next day. Expect that there's going to be some resistance from our identity, from our ego, because as systems work, when a system gets disturbed, whether it's in a positive or in a negative way, they come up with resistance and a counterforce against that expansion. Because as a thermometer in your room, if you set it to a certain temperature, there is going to be a counterforce whenever it goes below that temperature or above. So the heater will adjust regardless of what's happening. It just wants to maintain homeostasis. And so when we notice that, when we remember that the next day, those high doses, and it doesn't have to be a high dose, but a trip, it will teach you some harsh lessons usually, which is positive, but mostly, but it'll take a hit on our ego. And so there's going to be a counterforce the next day. And when we expect that, we can be much more mindful of the effects that are happening and contextualize them properly. So we might be extremely anxious, we might be very irritable, you might have some big urges to splurge on ice cream, to go back to negative old habits like porn, playing a bunch of video games, eating junk food, whatever it is. And you're just going to be in an anxious state. But we can contextualize that properly by remembering, okay, this is actually just part of the process. I'm actually growing here. And just remember that this is temporary, that this is actually a sign of progress because we did something way outside of our comfort zone. So remember that backsliding is normal. Try to be mindful as much as you can. Forgive yourself and just let it pass. Accept it. It's just part of the journey. And so those are the 5 tips. Prepare yourself, set and setting. Make sure that you have a powerful intention. Remember that your body affects what your mind does and vice versa. And also expect ego backlash after the trip. And some general points at the end, things that I've learned from LSD is many things. Potential lessons you can learn is that reality is actually mental system. It is consciousness. It is a giant mind. It's not material. You can have insights in how reality works, that you are not separate from life, that you are connected to life. You know, when you really surrender to the present moment, and this can also happen in meditation, you start to feel like you're connected to everything. That consciousness, like all of reality is alive. And this is such a powerful insight to have, because we don't get taught this in school. We get taught this is just a dumb physical box with matter, it's meaningless, it's just stardust, it's accidental. There's no larger purpose to life. But when we have those experiences of oneness and interconnectedness, you become so much more, you know, the holism of LSD is incredible. You become so much more concerned about like your impact on the world and how you affect the environment and so many things. And you can have profound insights by this holistic state of consciousness into how to conduct your life better and how to move forward. And the next one is just soul fuel. You just get inspirations for what to do next. You get inspiring ideas, and you can just really discover your purpose, your life purpose, what you want to commit to, what you want to contribute to the world. And another lesson that I learned about happiness is that we are always just seeking the settling of the mind in silence. We are seeking ourself. We are seeking to reconnect to awareness, that everything we seek is already within ourselves, and that we are always lost in chasing on the outside, but that the true happiness is inside of ourselves, and that it is possible to find peace, that there is an end to the chasing. And then we are not dependent on substances like psychedelics or LSD. We can integrate that through meditation into our daily life. That mindfulness will stay through our daily life every day. Every moment is an opportunity to be conscious, to choose how to respond to the present moment. And that when we master our mind, we master our emotions, because the two are interconnected. And then lastly, you can realize that reality, you know, we come from a place that is just unconditional love. You can remember where we all came from. There's this quote by Ramdas who said that we're all just walking each other home, you know? This is just a ride. And that we're characters playing in this world of the vision here, but we're really the witness behind the character. And this is amazing. You can remember that we come from unconditional love. This is where we return to, and this lifts a huge weight off of our shoulder, that we are unconditionally loved, and we're just expressions of something eternal and infinite. And lastly, it gave me lots of insights into how I'm living a toxic lifestyle. You know, so many lessons about addictions, bad habits, how I can live a healthier lifestyle, how I can grow and mature and become more conscious in life. Because that is the whole point, that we integrate it in our daily life and change our lifestyle to reflect more love, peace, and consciousness, and beam that outwards to inspire others to do the same thing, and so that we can live the good life. And LSD is a wonderful tool towards actualizing the good life. I hope this inspired you to try it for yourself responsibly, after doing research, no rushing, but reconnecting to this medicine every once in a while is just such a blessing. You know, I've been extremely surprised and mind blown by the continuous love and giving and truthfulness of these substances. They're extremely powerful, and I wish that more people experience that. But I'm hopeful because new times are coming. We're opening ourselves up to them. There's psychedelic psychotherapy coming online, and there's so many things happening which are so inspiring to see. So thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you, please leave a like. And if you want to see more videos on topics like self-actualization and spirituality, why don't you subscribe? And why don't you leave me a comment if you've had any experience with LSDs yourself and how they've helped you, and tips you would like to share. Any feedback is also gladly welcomed. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the week. I'll see you soon with more. Much love and namaste.